Hey everybody! I'm just wanting to let you know before we could dive into the video that there will be a two-part section of the video. So we're going to be talking about how my interviews went, but then there's also going to be another topic that I wanted to discuss with all of you. So keep in mind, and there will be like a cut break in between. But without further ado, let's get into this video. Hey everyone, this is Rob from Rob Talks. So today was truly a very special day and something that I wanted to share with all of you. So in the previous two videos, I had talked about that I was trying to look for a job and then the job search was taking a bit of time. But today was pretty special. Today I had my first job interview. Finally there was a call back and yay, I was so glad. So this job was for a school position as an instructional assistant. And I'm not going to say the name of the school due to keeping copyrights and the names privately, but it is for a school district as an instructional assistant position. And this position was back when I did for my volunteer work, back when I was in college, and then way before the pandemic many years ago. And I was able to enhance my reflections of the experiences that I had back in the past when I did my volunteer jobs and what characteristics that an instructional assistant would need. Everybody was so great and so nice. The whole interview was pretty relaxing and comfortable, and it was a great way to go through. And the other thing too that also enhanced with the help of a great moment for the interview is acknowledging and bringing up about my disability with autism. And then they all seemed to understood. They all nodded their heads. They were all very understanding. They wanted to hear more about it. And everything was just so grand because when the first thing to talk about is a disability, because you don't want to say it all the time. You don't want to say it at every job, unless if it was the right thing. Or there's even one question that they asked me is, was there anything that they should know, that they should be aware of? And then that was when I brought up about my disability. So this was a good topic to discuss. And then I talked about my previous job of where I got let go all of a sudden due to a misunderstanding, and that it had something to do with my disability. However, it did not stop me there, and they all seemed to understood and that they were proud of the fact that I had taken the job so well and the work ethics. And so now, this is where I just wait on by. There is going to be another interview that I'm doing on Wednesday. I won't necessarily do another video of it because it's more so about the same interviews that I've been doing and going through. So it is what it is, but now you all know that I have done, and I will keep you posted on when and if I get the position. So I'm going to change in real quick, but then now I'm going to talk about the next topic that I wanted to discuss in today's video. So stay tuned. Okay, I'm back at it again, and now I'm ready for today's topic. So today's topic that I wanted to talk to you about is something that I had reflected back when I was a student at college. And you might know this too, but this is a method that's called the Sally Ann, which is what in a way from when a mind has perspective, a person with a disability such as autism may have a problem with that. And I'm going to explain it deep further about it. So what this is this is a good way to discuss about when, remember we talked about about a few videos ago when I talked about with brain hiccups, when sometimes when you feel when something is happening and you might have a thought in your mind and then it suddenly changes at last minute, or another person may have a different thought and it would hiccup your mind because you just can't multitask, or it may overstimulate you in some case. So there's this thing that's called the theory of method, or TOM for short. So if your name is Tom, you would know about this. So the theory of method, what is it? So the theory of method is basically just what it is from when you're thinking of a thought and you wanted to have, like, you wanted to adapt it in your own way. But the thing is, though, is that it may be hard, especially when you have a disability, because it may not trigger of the way how it doesn't feel when you're in another person's shoes. Because maybe it could not always be a bad intention, it could be a good intention of a way, or it could be something that it may be a way that it may not happen right away, but it is something to keep in mind of and think of another person's point of view. So, for example, like a person who is talking so much, and then it may come across as like that the other person is not receptive of what the chatter is saying, and you keep talking about it, and then that could be one method of an example of the theory of method of a way that it may not be easy to comprehend. Or let's say that you wake up and you're ready to go to the supermarket. You wanted to go and you wanted to go run 2 errands after that. But then your parent tells you that, oh, there's something else that's happening, like your grandma's in the hospital, or you may have to go pick up your brother and sister. It may not happen at that day. It may be hard to understand, but the theory of method, when it comes to a strong problem to access it, it may be a way that it may not happen that fast. So don't take it as like a hard way though. But what is most important is the way of handling it. Because you don't want to come across as like being a spoil or being a selfish brat. Because then that's not theory method. That's just being a selfish brat. So you want to try to like take a look at it and try to help them to understand as to what it is and what they can do to enhance the way that they can go in their own other person's mind point of view. So which brings me to back to the Sally method part. The Sally Ann method is that, let's say that you have a little marble. You put it inside a box, and then you hide it, and you make it kind of like a hide and seek kind of method. And then you hide it around the room, and then the child or the individual would be sitting there and then going to seek. And then the teacher or the guardian would say, okay, so where do you see the marble? Where do you think the marble is hiding? And it doesn't have to be a marble, I'm just using that as an example. But it could be as a different subject. It could be like a different object too. Like it could be a favorite toy. It could be whatever it is. It could even be like a piece of fruit, It could be like a scavenger way to go find the fruit if you're hungry and go look for it. So that could be a way. And teach your child and your student that there are ways that they can handle in a perspective and mannerism way, that they can like look for the object, but also to find context clues. And it may be a struggle. It may be a struggle to find that though, but that's what psychologists and then behaviorists are known for. So talk with them and then talk with the counselor of a way. Counselors would be in a way to help them to enhance their comprehensive skills and their like fine and gross motor, but also in a way to find and search whatever it is that they're looking for. And to get them into their other like the other example I said, to help them to develop not with brain hiccups, but with trying to get them into by talking a new strategy so that there isn't a way. Talk to them and ask them to teach them the way to ask the other person, like, Mom, would it be okay if we can go to the supermarket? Would it be okay if I go and pick up this brand new video game system at the store that just released yesterday? That will be a good way. And be prepared for an unexpected answer. It may not be always a yes, sure. It could be like, no, not at this time. It could be, let's do it this weekend. I mean, the weekend or something though, it's not going to go and magically like, oh, you're going to die if you wait that until the weekend. The weekend should be free for everyone, and if it happens, it'll happen. So, teach them in a strategy way so that way it avoids brain hiccup or even tantrums or even like meltdowns, so it does not affect anybody, and that it helps to keep a nice pace and a smooth conversation and topic, and that everything ends up well. Well, that is it for Rob Talks today, and again, thank you for bearing with me for that I got a job interview. Now I will be hearing back and seeing if, whatever happens, it'll happen. Just wish it for the best. That's why I got these crosses for me. So please like and subscribe for more, and tell all your teachers and your family and friends, and we'll see you all next time. Bye!